what to do with my stuff because I have not the slightest idea on how to properly build this car. So I'm letting the grown-ups discuss this in private while I watch.
All right, so the last video I did on the Rx7 was getting prepped up for engine mounting and for cutting the trunk out. And we are now passing the torch over to Michael, I was expecting him to be right there, but he's not right there. He's much better with cutting stuff than I am. So I'm gonna allow him to finish cutting up on this car instead of me because I am reckless. Underneath the car, you can see this has seen better days. I think maybe we fix this too at some point, but real simple setup here. IRS 8.8 kit, iron housing out of like, what are they, like Thunderbirds or Mark 7s, I think is what it's out of. 355 gear set, some old like 10-year-old drive shaft shop axles, Megan Racing control arms, which are, sturdy. But this is the trunk. Look at it in all its glory. Michael's feeling animated, aren't you, bud? He's got the old hole barked out, and I came in today and he just kept cutting, and now I got nothing back here, but soon we will have something. So I don't know if you remember, but there was an area where the fuel pump like hanger would sit right here, and there was a cross brace that really did nothing much. So now he has wallered all that out and he's cleaning up those edges. And back here, he's cleaning up, and we'll be able to build, I say we, like I'm gonna be building this. He will be able to build me out a trunk pan. So this is the aluminum we're gonna be using for the trunk. And it's cut just a little too wide for the old Jetta. But we're making it work. Michael's really excited. Here you go, bud. I'm doing a lot of work too. I'm helping. I'm very helpful. So we have bar stock in the back that is now cut and flushed. He trimmed it around the centerpiece very nicely. And now you're using this, is this what's gonna be in my trunk, the paper?
Yeah, weight reduction.
That'll hold a battery.
Have you ever seen a rickshaw before?
This is Rickshaw Nation, boy. Later. We're back at it now, but it's a snow day today. There goes Bert. So we had a car break on the dyno, and that we got fixed, and now this was on Friday, now it's Monday, and back onto the Rx7. Then I have to go up front and do my normal day job. But Michael is really excited to keep working on this, right, Michael? He doesn't look excited. I think he just said that. However, I will show you. He's got this piece rough cut and has made marks to where it'll sit inside the rear of the trunk. And then this will be the new foundation for all the business in the back and the party in the front. Is what this is gonna be. Under the skirt, you can see the new panel is placed, which is a lot nicer than having a giant hump in the center there. And I have an aluminum fuel cell that I had made by Rock Solid Motorsports back in the day that I am finally gonna be able to use. So we're gonna have it basically one extreme of the side, like come all the way to the passenger side. And we have this as a sump because Michael's a genius, which would be perfect. So I go from a heavy ass stock tank to a nice aluminum tank. That's awesome. I didn't show this in the video, but we decided to flip the tank upside down and French the top of it through the floor pan. So it may not make a lot of sense, but it's okay. You'll understand what happens shortly. So the new plan, what would you call this? Frenching?
French kissing.
French kissing the pan up through, I'm sorry, the tank up through the pan is the new move, which I was all about, the Frenching. Now we gotta shave away at the material to get this to be a tight fit on top of that tank. He's using a flap disc right now just to eat away at some of that because on the welds in a couple spots you'll see it's just not a perfect straight edge, so you got to go back in and just keep smoothing away until it'll fit snugly. Let me just power stomp it.
Yes.
So this is not a perfect square, or rectangle rather. So cutting a perfect rectangle out and trying to fit it is not in the cards. So Michael's having to go back and re-grind and reshape that inner hole so it'll sink over the top. And hopefully a little bit of fitting do the trick.
Close.
Oh yeah, she's ready to go. A little rollover vent valve there, and then we'll do a bulkhead fill and then a level sensor as well. Look at that. So visualize the trunk floor. This is going to be the floor. Where are we doing battery? Over here?
Battery's going underneath it probably.
Low mount battery. Frenched tank. And I'm about to French Michael. Get over here, you little sexy son. Good girl. Don't eat the yellow snow. All right, so Frenchy tank. Michael's got this queued up over here. I should probably learn how to walk faster. Or should I do some sort of like speed up and beginning to weld in the mounting tabs for the actual cell, which will be a pass-through and bolt to the bottom of our new trunk pan. Now, the other thing that got brought up in a couple threads that I was active in on Facebook, from a rules standpoint, you have to have a firewall that breaks between the driver compartment and the fuel tank. So I really don't want to do a whole firewall back here. So instead, where that tank is Frenched up, we're going to do a pass-through cover for just that area that can be sealed, won't be able to leak any fuel into the cabin. And that way we can keep the tank where it is without having to do any type of gymnastics to fit a panel in here, which will be nice. So pretty. Look at how pretty it is, Michael. It's pretty. He's pretty. You're stone cold. I mean, you're a rock. You're like if Mount Rushmore was a guy in a toboggan, that would be you. All right, so step 10. Yeah, that's good.
Because the car hooks to the right.
Well, it hooks and goes right, so we should probably there
there we go.
There it is, right. Just like that. So when I'm driving straight at the wall, we'll still have fuel.
Yeah, you don't want to fuel starve.
That's
that would be a bad situation to not be able to pedal through.
I do agree. Hey, can we vent some fuel onto the tires too? Maybe like a spray situation mid-track?
I mean, this thing's going to burn so much oil, I don't think you need fuel on the tire.
Burning oil! But in all seriousness, this joint will be our sump, center of chassis, and then I'll have a couple of little outlets for the fuels, and we'll have an area for the fuel to slosh back under hard haunching. If you remember, I cut 129 60-foots on this suspension, and Rye needed a full 9-inch to do anything similar, just as a heads up. That's not the only thing that Rye needed a full 9 inches for. Michael, that was a sets joke, if you were wondering. Ooh, dual 12s, boy. All the fuel. Ooh, look at this baffling. Baffling. There's a lot of baffling. And this sump is gonna go right over here, right? That's not, I want it over here, not over here. No. I like it a lot. Here is the finished product. Still, actually I shouldn't say finished. Still have like the fill cap to do and some stuff, but mounted in dual 12 ANs. You got your Aeromotive 10 GPM pump mounted. I'm gonna have a fuel filter as well that hooks right into it with an ORB fitting. But damn, it just came out so sick. Look at it! Would you just look at it? All right, so I didn't film a lot towards the conclusion of the fuel cell build because I had so much going on at the shop and we were... Ooh, look at that rifle in the background, man. I'm like the toughest dude that has ever lived in the history of people. I'm so tough, I'm like a nature boy Logan. I'm trying to get some cars out of the lot. However, the fuel cell came out awesome. I was so ecstatic with the way it laid out. One of my biggest pain points with the car through the seasons has been I had to run a full tank of fuel in order to keep the pumps submerged in fuel. We're talking 20 gallons at 7 pounds a gallon. 140 plus pounds of fuel I had to run in this thing. The pump hanger that I had in there, a CJ Motorsports unit, absolutely killer machine work, an awesome, good friend of mine. But when you're launching a car at 1200 horsepower, stuff starts to move around, and if you have like a half a tank, it'll slosh away. If you use a stock basket in the tanks, they can evacuate all the fluid in the basket, and you can have problems with running lean. So my old setup, I had a stock tank with a basket cut up so you could actually have fluid by the pump pickups at all times. Great, however, you had to run a ton of fuel to make sure that they were always submerged when you had any type of G-force from launching. So that was a pain point for me. For a street car, you cannot deny that the CJ Motorsports kits are perfect. Going to something that's more serious for race car use, going to a sump and inline Aeromotive pump was the move. Aeromotive has been awesome to work with, and I'm really glad I got introduced to that company because their pumps they're sick. I mean, they're on some fast cars. Hopefully I can join those ranks as well. As far as the work that's been performed and what we have left, there's obviously a metric ton to do. Next video will drop Tuesday next week, obviously. And that will go over the ECU, the dash, the CAN keypad, all of the Haltech goodies that are going to be going on the car. And subsequently, we have a cylinder head that needs to get freshed, get it back, get the head together, get the cylinder head onto the block, get the transmission. There's so much to do. A lot of work that needs to go into the car. I'm stoked with where it's laid out. If anybody has any questions, comments, whatever, drop them below. Thank you guys so much for watching. We truly appreciate the support. It is awesome. I know I appreciate it way more than Rye, but that's just me. And LEP Automotive, Liam's situation is awesome. He has a great YouTube channel and he's got a ton of amazing work up on his website. If you go to lepautomotive.com, I believe, he's got a ton of apparel and stuff for sale. He shoots some amazing photography and videos. So shout out to him as well. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week, and again, I love you more than Rye, and that's all that really matters, and all that really counts. Oh, I'm better than Rye, I'm a better friend, I'm way better than Rye.